How's it going, everyone? It's Adrian from Peng Pirates TCG here, and we are back with another video. I know it's been a while, but as you can see today, we are going to be doing a live gameplay. No sim gameplay today. We actually had time to just like sit down and record us playing some One Piece, and today is an awesome video where we showcase two OP2 leaders that are new. And this one is like particularly exciting because one of our friends has just been playing Magellan like in every tournament and doing pretty well actually, like going 2-1 in some cases. So it's been really cool. For those of you that don't know, Magellan is a new purple type leader that uses like a bunch of impel down cards, and his effect is just once per turn. During your turn, whenever you go Dawn minus due to an effect, so like if you go Dawn minus for like a queen or like a who's who or something like that, you're actually going to gain plus 1000 power for the turn. So this lets you be like pretty aggressive and like be almost like a Whitebeard, since you're like swinging 6k every turn you do like a Dawn minus effect. But yeah, and then of course Ivankov at the end of the turn, if you have 0 cards in hand, he's just going to draw you 2 cards. Pretty simple there. So Gabe's just going to start off his turn with the buggy play and searching out the 7 cost Ivankov. This is a super strong start, like, because what Ivankov kind of wants to do is like establish somewhat of an early game board and then also just like counter out really aggressively like at the start of the turn, just so you could get cards out of your hand. And then as soon as you have 7 Dawn, like you just want to cycle these 7 cost Ivankovs because its effect is on play. It's going to he's going to draw you cards until you have 3 cards in your hand, and then he's also going to play something. He's also going to play like an impel down character that costs 6 or less. So he's a huge tempo swing for you that you could do every single turn. But Darian didn't have a turn 1 play, it looks like, so he just swings it back over to Gabe. He's going to start his turn off by just playing the Perona. And this card is really amazing in blue decks, but like especially this Ivankov deck, because you're cycling through so many cards. It's super useful for you to have like a way to know what cards you're going to draw into for the next coming turns, especially when you want to line up these 7 cost Ivankov plays. So really smart by Gabe by using this early. You also just want to line up your tools, right? Because you want to use all of the cards in your hand pretty resourcefully. So he's just going to swing 5k into his leader. Darian's going to take, and then to end off his turn, he's just going to rest 2 for an Alvida. Alvida's effect is just like when attacking, when she has a Dawn under her, you're going to discard a card and bounce your opponent's character that costs 3 or less. So pretty much like just some board control. And Darian's just going to start off the turn by swinging 5k. Gabe will counter out with an Alvida. And then Darian does a really cool play here. So he actually has the little Sadie. He actually has the little Sadie character card. So on play, little Sadie is just going to summon a Jailer Beast from your hand. And he has the Minotaur to pair with it. And the Minotaur has double attack and also like on KO. If your leader is an impel down type character, you're going to ramp 1 Dawn. So that's like some pretty good value there. You get what is it, like 8k power worth of stats with that play. And then, you know, even when the Minotaur leaves the field, you still get some value out of that. And Gabe's going to have like 5 Dawn on his turn, but let's see what he does with it. It doesn't look like he actually has like a lot of counters in hand, so it might be kind of difficult to discard his hand and like, you know, dump his hand away for the Ivankov effect to come in, because he doesn't have like new Kamaland out, like the new stage that lets you like dump cards. But he's just gonna opt to, I guess, swing 5ks this turn. So he swings 5k into leader, and then Darian's just going to counter out with a 1k, and then he's going to swing 5k to leader again with his leader. He's going to take, and then he's just going to attach 2 to Alvida, swing 5k once again. And Darian's just going to take that, so he's actually dropping down to 2 life already, which could be potentially dangerous in this situation, right? Because now Gabe is in that range where he could just stop dropping. He could start dropping Ivankovs all over him. But Darian does have like a Shiryu, which is a new card. He kind of works like King just for like 1 cost. So he's going to go Don -1 to pop a 1 cost. Really good against aggro. And then he's going to use that 6k swing to get the Alvida. And he still has the little Sadie swing for Buggy. Yeah, which he's going to do. There's no point in saving that Buggy. And then he's going to swing 5k with the double attack Minotaur here. And Gabe is just going to counter out of that, of course. You don't want to get hit by that. You don't want to get hit by that. You just don't want to get hit by that double attack swing, especially when you're so far ahead like Gabe is in terms of life. But now he has to kind of catch up in the board department. So let's see what he does. He's on 7 Dawn now, so he can play the Ivankov, but it doesn't look like he has any targets in hand so far. Yeah, like he has a Mihawk, an Alvida, and the 9 cost Mihawk. So he actually does not have a target for the Ivankov, and he can't draw into anyone of them too because, you know, he has 4 cards in hand. So if he plays the Ivankov, he'll have 3 cards in hand, which means he draws no cards. So let's see what he does here. He's on 7 Dawn. It looks like he's just thinking about attaching 3 and then probably swinging it into the Minotaur. Yeah, so he's going to attach 3, swing into the Minotaur with 8k. And Darian's just going to let that go through. I mean, honestly, I would too. It's too many cards to deal with. And then he's just going to rest 4 for the Mihawk, which is pretty good. Mihawk in this deck can, I mean, like, you're supposed to use him as a 2k counter most of the time, but he could actually be pretty useful for shaping your hand. Oh, and then he's just going to, but Darian's just going to have the king play. So he's going to rest 6 for this king, go Dawn -1, and now his Magellan leader is at 6k power. And with Gabe just using that 2k, he's going to have to use his other 2k with the Alvida. But this is good for him because now he has less cards in his hand. And then he's going to swing 5k with the Shiryu. And of course, he's going to have to take because the 2 cards he has in his hand just don't have counter. Yep. And then Gabe is just going to counter out 1k with that little Sadie. With that little Sadie 5k attack. And now he has a couple of options here, right? Because he's at 9 Dawn for the Mihawk play. So he's going to swing 5k at the little Sadie. And I think, yeah, he's just going to go for the Mihawk play. He just wants it on board. And he's going to, on play, place his king 6-drop to the bottom of the deck. And then now all of a sudden, you know, Gabe has completely taken board. So let's see how Darian responds here. I kind of like that play, honestly, like over playing an Ivankov, just because you want to get this Mihawk down as soon as possible. So Darian's just going to go with a rest 5 for the queen. He's going to go Dawn -1 to draw 2 cards and trash 1. And then, of course, since he went Dawn -1, his Magellan leader is now 6k. Oh, and he's going to trash the 9 cost Kaido. So he either thinks he doesn't need it or he has another one in hand. But he has 4 Dawn left to play with for the rest of his turn. So let's see. So he's just going to swing 5k into leader. And Gabe's just going to take. Swings 5k into leader again. And he's going to counter out 2k. So this is kind of one of the main weaknesses of the Ivankov deck is like, because you're trying to get rid of your hand. Oh, and then he's just going to rest 2 for the domino. So, you know, blockering up. But yeah, when you're playing Ivankov, like, because, you know, you are cycling a lot through the leader skill and everything like that, but because you are trying to discard your hand most of the time, you actually don't have a lot of counters in the late game. And this is kind of where it gets scary, especially against purple, since purple is like ramping, or well, not this deck, not Magellan, but like you do have like these big topside threats with purple, and it gets really hard to defend purple with just like 2 or 3 cards in your hand, even if you're cycling like a lot. So it can get very difficult for the Ivankov player. And I think right now he should just go for the 7-cost Ivankov play, because I mean, you have to start swarming the board at this point. Like, just swarm the board with the Luffys or like the crocodiles, just so you could get some board presence, and just so he has like other things other than your leader to swing at, right? So it looks like he's going to start off his turn swinging 6k, and then he's just going to block with the Sasaki. Yeah, you always want to swing before you do any sort of play. And then it looks like, yep, he's going to play the Ivankov, and then he's going to draw until he has 3 cards in his hand. Since he had 3 when he played it, he draws 1, and then you get to play 1 Impel Down type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. So it looks like he's thinking about like whether to put the Luffy down or like a Croc, but he's just going to play the 5-cost Croc. So this is why this card is so busted. You can draw like up to 3 cards within a turn, and then also like you're playing, what is that? That's 14k worth of stats for 7k, or for 7 cost. And it's just such a huge tempo swing, because then yeah, now he's just gonna, the Mihawk's just gonna swing into his Shiryu, and again, all of a sudden, like, he has completely taken board control and just like completely swung tempo in his favor just with 1 turn. But with that, the turn's gonna swing back to Darien. It looks like he's on 10 Dawn. And I can't see his hand very well, but I mean, there's a bunch of like topside plays that you can do here. 10 cost Kaido is one, but I don't really know what you play here. Like, you could block her up maybe. Oh, okay, so he's just gonna go for the 9 cost Kaido play, which is actually really good in this situation. So he's gonna be able to KO the 5 cost Crocodile outright, and then he now has a rush character with a bunch of attack to go for this Mihawk. Now Gabe is bluffing with the 2-cost event, so because he has 2. Yeah, Darian's just asking how many cards you have in your hand, but I mean, we've seen his hand. There's no counters at all in it, so he should be able to go for, yeah, and he's going to attach 1, swing 11k at the Mihawk, and that's going to go through. And even if, you know, even if he didn't have, or even if he did have the counters in hand, he's still dumping both of his cards into it if it's not like a counter event. So it still feels a little bit bad. And then he's just going to end the turn swinging 5k on 5k with the leaders, and Gabe will take because he had, again, no counters in hand. So this is a tough situation to be in, but he's just going to play another Ivankov, draw no cards because he already has 3 cards in hand. And it looks like he has 3 targets, or no, he has 2 targets. He has the Luffy and the Bentham. Personally, I would play the Luffy here just to get that 7k on board. You want to be like big swinging at his life right now. But he's actually going to go for the Bentham. I wonder why he goes for that play, because, you know, the Luffy, you know, Darian's always going to swing like 6k and 5k with the leader. So having that counter to use might be like very useful. And then also just having that Luffy on board is like huge pressure, because, you know, he's going to gain double attack when you attack with him. So he counters out the 6k attack with an X-Drake, and then he swings 7k, which gets eaten up by the Domino. But yeah, kind of a weird play there, but I mean, it ends up kind of working out. It's still a dangerous board state to have, right? Because this Kaido is probably not leaving the field with how many cards Darien has in his hand. I think it's like 6. So allocating Dawn to kind of mess with the Kaido probably isn't the best idea, because he could just like counter 1k, and he's probably just going to want to go for board in this situation. I mean, not for board, sorry, for life in this situation, because, I mean, trying to take board away from like a purple player with 9-drop is super difficult. So cool. And then Darian's just going to play the Hannibal for 1. This is your Impel Down Searcher. This is ideally your turn 1 play, playing Impel Down. And then he's just going to because you're just going to look for an impel down card in the top 5 cards of your deck and then bottom deck the rest. Pretty cool that purple gets its own searcher now. I heard in like OP4 they're actually going to have a beast pirate searcher, which would be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see what cards are coming out in OP4. But he's just going to grab the Minnow Koala. And the Minnow Koala is also a Jailer Beast that works pretty much the same way as the Minotaur. He has a first effect where he's just a blocker, and then a second effect where once he gets KO'd, you're just going to ramp 1 Dawn. So it looks like Darian is on 6 Dawn now after that 9 cost play. So he could play the Minnow Koala if he wants to here, leave 2 up. He's been leaving 2 up every turn, so that leads me to believe that he has like a Hell's Judgment, which is just going to be super good for like surviving the turn, since it's going to minus 3k 2 characters. But he's going to swing 11k into that Ivankov, and of course, there is no way you counter out of that. And, oh, okay, so he's just going to play 3 for the Little Sadie, and then Little Sadie, of course, is going to play that Minnow Koala he just grabbed from the Hannibal, and now he just has this full board. He's going to swing 5k into Gabe's leader. I recommend swinging first before playing any cards. I see this with a lot of players. Like, you want to make it a habit to swing however like much you want to with your characters first, and then play the cards and then play your cards, because you're more unpredictable that way, and also you play around a lot of triggers in the game. So, but I mean, it might not super matter in the blue matchup. I don't know of a lot of triggers that matter other than like Sables. Okay, so Gabe's just gonna play the buggy 1 cost again, grab another impel down type character in the top 5 cards, and it looks like his choices are pretty much just Luffy and New Kamaland. But I think he's probably gonna grab the New Kamaland because he already has a Luffy in hand, and he's on 1 life. So yeah, but he also has like this Galdino in hand, which is pretty good. He's gonna play the New Kamaland, and this is an awesome stage. It's just, you may rest the stage, and if your leader is Ivankov, you're gonna draw 1 and trash 1 card from your hand, and then you could trash up to 3 cards. So you could actually just dump your entire hand to get the Ivankov cycle going. Okay, but he's just gonna rest 7, grab that Ivankov off the top, and then it looks like he is choosing between Luffy, Galdino, and Inazuma, but he's gonna play the Luffy 6 cost here, discard for Minnow Koala, and then probably swing out for game, right? Because an alternate play would just be, you kind of ditch the Ivankov play and go for, because he had the Galdino in hand, so he could have rested 4 for Galdino, use New Kamaland to draw into that Inazuma he just discarded, and then have 2 blockers up and try to live. But, you know, that's probably not the best, or that's probably like a harder option. But he's going to swing 5k into his leader, and of course Darian is just going to block 6k. So yeah, he's definitely trying to go for game, it looks like here. But I mean, to go for game, you need the Bentham to stick, and then you also need the 2 Ivankovs to stick. So yeah, he's just going to play Hell's Judgment on the Bentham and the Ivankov, and then Gabe has to attach 1 more to the Ivankov to swing 5k, and Darian's going to take. Yeah, I really think the Inazuma plus Galdino play was his best bet, because, you know, that blocks 2 attacks, but he does have like just a ton of attacks on board, so I don't know if that really would have mattered in the end. It doesn't look like it would, to be honest. And then I think the cards off the top would have still been the same, right? Yeah. But yeah, Darian is just going to take his turn, attach 2 Dawn onto the Sadie, swing 5k at his leader. He's just going for game now, like, you know, and then Gabe's gonna get that counter. I don't think there's any way that Darian loses this, to be honest. So yeah, he's just gonna keep swinging 5k, right, getting one card each out of his hand, and he's just gonna take. And Darian still has 3 attacks to go through. There's no amount of math that makes him lose this. And then he's gonna actually just attach 1 swing, and Gabe can't counter out of that. So yeah, even though Ivankov was able to like get his game plan down, get those 7 cost Ivankovs out with, even with the impel down characters, you know, Magellan still was able to take it, mainly because of that 9 cost Kaido play. Like after that play, the game just completely kind of turned around, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I know that, you know, me watching over it, it's been kind of a blast seeing these new leaders play, especially for Magellan that, you know, just had a top actually in one of the regional online regional tournaments. So it's really exciting to see these new decks kind of get some play and get some tops. And of course, that's going to be the end of this video today, guys. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed content like this, you know, the live gameplays, I have sim gameplays, also some guides. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more content like this. Good luck in, you know, I know it's midterm season for me, but, you know, for you guys, good luck on any midterms, any work that you need to get done. And in a week, it's like spring break. So honestly, rest up, guys. Good luck in whatever you're doing, and I'll see you on the next one.